In a world full of movie podcasts, here is one more. Welcome to Defend Your Movie with Sean Donnelly.
The time has come again. A champion must stand. It can only be one of us. Victoria! So stand up and fight, my friend. There's a title you must defend. Shut it on, bring it to me. Defend your movie.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Defend Your Movie. I am one of your hosts, Sean Donnelly. I am sitting here joined by my co-host, new co-host of the show, Andy Fiore. How are you, Andy?
Hey, buddy.
It's good to see you, man.
You too. Always.
I think it's working out pretty well. I think people are liking things. We miss Farrah, but I think Farrah will be back. She's going to pop in and do shows and stuff. But I'm thrilled to have you, buddy. Thank you so much for doing this.
Glad to
and
be
we are
here.
joined by our very special guest today. She's hilarious, performs all over the place. Melissa Stokoski, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Thanks for letting me come here, even though I don't have a bushy-ass beard like you guys. Gee, it's identical beards.
I know.
They really are salty and gingery, and they're all the right spots.
Yeah,
If
it's
you know-
the same two-toned beard.
If you know what me and Andy look like, we really do look like a shock jock morning zoo crew.
You do.
Just schlubs.
That's the name. Schlub and the Beast. Like, Schlub and the Beard. Mornings.
Although you did wear construction boot Timberlands, so
I
you were
did.
trying.
I did.
You tried to fit
I
in.
was trying to be on brand for you guys.
Thank you so much
You're welcome.
for being as blue collar as possible.
Trying.
While you're hanging out with.
Stokoski is a blue-collar name.
It is.
Yeah.
You're hanging out with
That
two
makes sense.
foremen for this episode.
I know.
Actually, no. Who am I
Like
kidding?
summertime lumberjacks. You're just sweaty and beerdy.
Even in shorts, we look like we're working on a building.
And
I have
the coal
sneakers
mine.
on and shorts, and they're like, "Yeah, when's lunch over?"
this is a good look, though, the shirt. It is
shirt.
very Tony Soprano.
I did not realize it was Tony Soprano. I thought it was nicer than Tony Soprano. I got it from Banana
Tony wears
Republic.
nice things.
You know what it
Very
is?
nice
It's
things.
Banana Republic, but I think if you
Ooh.
put it on me, it just looks Tony Soprano.
That's
it's
true.
like-
If like a British guy was wearing it, I'd be like, that is super expensive.
It's like when you buy a car, as soon as you leave the lot, it automatically depreciates.
That's exactly it. Yeah, well, if it was like some like sexy British dude, you'd be like, "Well, that's chic."
I would be
that's
like,
chic. With me, you're
wow.
like, "Is that from Target?"
Kohl's cash.
So you got 4 more of those at home, exactly the same, coming to 5-pack.
Yeah, exactly. They're just a little bit different each one, but they're irregular. Like the sleeves are off.
Do you guys even have tattoos in the same spots?
I know.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
really a match
fucking
made
We're
in
basically
heaven.
the same person.
One of you likes fish a lot, though.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Sean.
That's true. Thank you so much for doing this. We all three are comics. I want to get your opinions on something. Everybody listens to this podcast. I think a lot of comics listen. Also, people know that I'm a comic. They know Andy's a comic. Now they know Melissa's a comic. I wanted to ask you, over the weekend, they had the Montreal Comedy Festival, which is like the biggest, if you don't know what it is, it's like the biggest comedy festival in the world. It's been going on for like over 30 years, and people's careers have been made and from it. Like they used to back in the 80s, you get like a sitcom deal if you went there, and then but now it just really helps you out because it's like where the industry converges for like 1 week. Actually, it goes on for like 3 weeks, but there's this 1 week that's like the focal week. Now, I don't know if other people know about this, but now there's a thing in stand-up where if you're a YouTube star or you're an Instagram star, you just get to do really big stand-up shows because you can draw people. That's all these venues really kind of care about sometimes. And that's not me complaining. It's just a fact. Like, you can look it up. Like, there's a lot of, like, when Vine was big, a lot of Vine stars would, like, do college gigs or, like, it's a thing. It's the way it is. And it
They
makes
just
sense.
assume that they can do stand-up because they do YouTube videos.
They
Yeah.
think they can perform on a stage because they make these videos that people love and they like die for. But they sell out. They'll sell out like 5 shows, whatever it is. So there's this guy who I didn't even know who he was. And I'll be honest, like this guy named Darren Knight. And I looked it up, and he does a character called Southern Mama. And this is the most unrelatable thing to me because I'm not from the South. So I know people from the South love that stuff where they're like, those characters and stuff like that. A lot of people love that kind of
Right.
stuff. I have no connection to it. I don't think it's funny.
No.
But it's to each his own. Comedy is subjective, whatever it is. But this guy, before I tell the story, did you guys know? They were like, oh, he's a big YouTube star. He's one of Variety's top 10 comics to watch. Now, they didn't say top 10 YouTube stars to watch. They said top 10 comics. And they didn't say stand-up comics, in all fairness. But I looked at his social media. Unless he's popular in something else, on Instagram, he has 160,000 followers. On YouTube, 160-something thousand subscribers.
It's a lot. It's nothing mind-blowing.
It's not that
much to me.
Yeah, it shouldn't it be like 10 million?
But if you have a younger fan base, they come out really hard.
Right.
Like there was in Soho one time, lines for blocks for those guys, the one who like got in trouble because there was like a dead body in the background of his thing. Those like brothers or something. Logan Paul.
Yeah, that douche.
So these kids will make their parents take them.
It wasn't a dead
to
body. He went to a suicide forest in like Japan.
It was a dead body.
It was a dead body, but
that's so funny.
He purposely went to see, like, there's a forest people commit suicide, and he went and like and did his stupid shit next to somebody just killed themselves. Yeah, he's just a monster. It's like, come on, man, that's the.
But what I mean is, kids will go to shit. They really come out. So even if it's only 100,000 followers, they'll go.
So he has a very active base. Then that's what it is. So that's why he's so popular. So I guess he must have caught the right amount of heat, and he did this comedy festival, which is like for a stand-up to be a Variety's top 10 is like a big deal. Like there's a plaque involved, and you go to the party, and it's like I get a lot of attention. So this guy went, and I guess he's like I don't know where he's from in the South. I didn't do that much research. But apparently everybody else on the show was a stand-up. It's a very diverse list of people. Like he's, I think, the only straight white guy on the list. Maybe there's one other one. There's only one white person on the list, which is Taylor Tomlinson, who's a really, really amazing comic. And really funny and has great jokes. And then you have this guy who apparently went up. You guys heard the story, right?
Yeah.
He went up
as the Southern Mama character.
No,
right?
he didn't. No.
Oh, okay. I was wrong.
That's what I think they thought he was going to do. I would assume, because that's what he's famous for. That's what almost every one of his videos is about. He went up and he decided, after a whole bunch of people, he closed the show, which is odd.
Oof.
And after a whole bunch of people, just like you had a very diverse group of people go up. He went and he goes, I don't think comedy should be about gender or sexual orientation or race, or why are we talking about that? Why comedy should just be funny, should be straight up funny. And he starts complaining about the state of like stand up comedy and
as a non-comic,
and he's just bombing with like this weird like public service message.
Yeah.
And the crowd just slowly turns and they start booing him. So I saw like a clip of a video where he's being booed, and then the rest of the video was him, and after he got off stage, Chris Redd, the guy from SNL, who I don't know, who I heard is a nice guy, but he starts yelling at him for not doing his jokes, I guess. But it was weird because I was like, yeah, the guy's an idiot. Like, fuck him. Like you can't tell people what to talk about. But the weird thing is, why was Chris Redd yelling at him for bombing and saying stupid? Like, it was very, very strange. Yeah. Like, I think they thought he was trying to, like, stifle people talking about their race and their gender, but it was just being dumb. Like, it wasn't, he was just saying what he was going to say. Like, it should have, like, the bomb was enough. The crowd reaction should have been enough for him to be like, Jesus, you're awful, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What do you think about this whole YouTube star thing? What do you guys think? Do you think this should have been allowed, or do you think do you think the Variety's top 10 should be all stand-ups, or do you think it should allow like YouTube stars, Instagram stars?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely more media now and more platforms for people to be funny and put out content in general. But I think that, especially for this festival, it's been a pretty purely stand-up and character-based thing, but I guess because he does a character, that kind of counts.
That fell into it. But he doesn't do stage stuff, so it was like...
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Jonathan from Queer Eye is doing a lot of shows, and he is genuinely funny, and I don't necessarily think what he's doing is, like, pure stand-up, but he's storytelling, and he's, like, good on stage.
He's putting effort into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like if someone is not putting an effort to have a stage presence and put material out on stage, they shouldn't be... at a festival for stage stuff. Yeah,
I think that I wrote a tweet afterwards where I was like, why don't you just let the stand-ups do the stand-up?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Why don't you have another list of like...
You have to roll with like what technology is doing and with social media, but that doesn't mean it has to fit into every single...
No.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then in the same regards, if it was like... hey, we want you to come and do stand-up at our film festival, but we also want you to make a short film for it. I'd be like, I can't do that. I can't make a short film just because I'm in your festival.
No, right,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? So count on this guy coming up and doing stand-up.
He should have been like, I'm
if
going to
anything, I agree with him. Keep the platforms, like maybe give him the opportunity to be like, hey, we want you to create something in your
in your video, in your
expertise for
medium.
the festival.
He could have done. He could have went there and been like, I'm going to interview. I'm going to interview Southern Mama. Have a timed up video where you're interviewing Southern Mama from the stage. Like,
I think that's also just poor show planning to have him close.
I agree.
Why would you have him close after there's
on a stand-up show?
Yeah,
I think because he's probably one of the most popular people on the show. So like, there's probably people who are coming to the show
That's the
to see
festival
him.
then.
It's a festival. They fucked up. And then there was a picture of Jeff Singer, who I know, who does the New Faces, with a picture of Chris Redd, and he was like, "Yeah, this guy yelled at Darren Knight." I'm like, "But Jeff Singer, he books the festival." I'm like, that just seems strange to me too. Whatever. I just thought it was interesting, and I think it's kind of like. Here's the thing. When you do clubs and stuff with an agency, when the agency sends you out, it is called personal appearance. So there's no statute that says, like, it has to be stand-up. Literally, if you're famous enough, you could go and just sit there and be like, hey, who wants to I'll sign autographs and say hello. Like, there's people who do that. Like,
absolutely.
Jeremy Piven's doing stand-up now. Yeah, you know that? Like, Jeremy Piven works in a perfect segue to the podcast. The movie star, Jeremy Piven, is doing stand-up. I guess because he kind of got Me Too'd a little bit or something, and now he's going around doing these clubs, and he tells these Hollywood stories.
This is a PR recovery.
Yeah, that's our hopes and dreams are a fallback for a guy, a sexual predator.
For a guy who's an entourage.
I don't know if he's a sexual predator. I'm not saying
he's definitely a sexual predator. Are you kidding?
No, you don't know that.
Just the vibe. Just a vibe.
Allegedly.
I've never been
allegedly.
wrong.
Say
allegedly. For PCU.
Allegedly.
I don't want you getting sued.
Meh.
Not that you know, but that Jeremy Piven's going to be like, let me listen to defend your
I have
movie.
a lawyer under. Yeah, exactly. I have a lawyer for all my podcast appearances. In case I say anything.
So I think just let the stand-up do the stand-up and figure out how to book the shows so that people aren't left. They had to leave after that. So they're booing this guy and they're like walking out of there like, what the fuck just happened? The other thing I wanted to talk about, I want to get your opinion on, and this is movie news. That was comedy and then movie news. The Movie Pass situation. Holy. I haven't. Did you get rid of yours yet?
I never got one.
You never got it. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Did you get rid of it yet?
No.
I'm going to get rid of it, I think.
Why?
You know, they had to borrow $5 million to pay for movie tickets.
But, like, what are they going to do to you? Why would you get rid of it? I'm going to keep it as long
because
as
they're getting rid of the
can.
blockbusters and they're raising the price. I don't know what that means on everybody. So it might go from like
I feel like
10...
I'm grandfathered in.
What? Are you grandfathered in?
But I don't know.
You don't know.
We'll
You
see
just
what
assumed?
happens. No, I haven't gotten rid of it, and I don't plan to. I mean, when I went and saw Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, which is now renowned as the greatest film of our time.
That's not true.
Everyone, critics and fans alike, have shouting from the rooftops about the success of this movie.
So angry.
Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again was a true triumph. So I was seeing it in IMAX on opening night, and I had to pay an extra $5.
Hold on a second, really quickly. Do you really need Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again?
Here we go again.
I didn't mean to see it in IMAX.
You see Meryl
I'm so
Streep's
glad I did.
tonsils?
That poster, I walk by in Times Square every day. It fucking
It delights
makes me irate. They're all fake pose. I hate movie posters.
How was it seeing in IMAX? Is that
Incredible.
weird?
It felt like I was in Greece. It was wonderful. I was on a Mediterranean vacation.
I saw it in Astoria. I felt the same way.
It was wonderful. But I hadn't been charged extra money before.
I mean, what?
Via Movie Pass.
Well, that's what they're doing.
You had to pay an extra $5 because of something. I didn't even know
Premium.
Make up
so I
something.
knew something was going on because I was like, why are they charging this extra fee?
No, I'm going to get rid
And
of
then
it. There's no point. You
That's
might as well
what
you might as well do the rewards program
If
for the
it's-
movie theaters. Then.
That's, I think, essentially what they're doing now is they're going to have start premiums and they're going to have more restrictions.
I expected this, though. Like, of course,
There
it
was
wasn't
no
going
way
to be
they could have
$10
kept that
for
up.
that
Yeah.
long.
Well,
if it's 20, I'll keep it.
You
for
never.
sure.
This is the thing. I had a theory that like the people who started it. You know, it used to be more money. I think it used to be $50 a month and it was unlimited movies. But that made more sense for them. They were making money off people because nobody was going to see. Say it's $10 a ticket. People don't see 5 movies in a month. It's like a knee jerk reaction to be like, oh, I'll do that, and then you just have this charge going to your card every month. Then when they got it down to like $7, $10, whatever the deal was at the time, everybody was wondering what the hell, how are they doing this? And I guess the real reason is that they just had a bunch of money and they were waiting for it to run out because they thought they would figure something out. I thought I would talk to people about it. They were going to sell the info. I thought it was like, hey, you signed over your movie watching habit info, and we're going to sell that to
and
spam
probably
companies.
a lot of your data in general.
That's what I mean. Like
What you're
but even
Googling,
if
like all
it's
that
just
stuff.
what you're using on the app, they know you like Marvel stuff. They know you like Fast and the Furious. They can go to the movie companies and be like, direct market to these people. This amount of people we know
Right.
just based off the app info. You don't even need addresses or whatever else. You just need like we know this area. He lives in this is his address, or this person. You can. This is their
Which
social
every
media.
app is taking that from you. Like Uber's always watching your location, like all of that stuff. So I don't really care.
Well, the other day, I'll tell you, your phone listening to you. Now, sometimes it listens more than others. I think your phone. If you don't have the thing turned off and you say something, it might show you a
An ad
directed
about
ad.
that, yeah.
One day I tried to do it and it wasn't working. The other day once I mentioned I wanted to get a new Adidas hat, and I had Adidas ads all over my Instagram.
It's
like right off the bat, right away. Next time I checked my phone, and I was like,
Crazy.
"Oh, that was quick."
I was looking up sheets on my computer and then got like ads for it on my Instagram on my phone. And I'm like, that seems it's different. It's not connected,
You're
but
Google.
it is.
You have Google, right?
Yeah. It's
Google.
Yeah,
Oh no, that's an
but it was
easy
still just
connection.
like, I know,
that's
but
a no-brainer for them.
yeah.
Ugh. It is wild.
Well, I'm going to get rid of it. I think. I think at this point, like the novelty's gone. Like, what does it? I might as well get the AMC stubs and then just go to the AMC.
I don't
stubs
think
thing.
that that's as beneficial as.
I think you can get
did.
points. You watch enough movies.
Until
you get
it's
points.
like $30 or $40. I'm gonna keep it.
So you're saying when it's the $40, that's your cutoff?
40 is because that's more than
Right.
2 movies a month. Because if you're going to, that's like $17. So anything under 20 makes sense to me for sure. Because I'm at least going to see 1 movie a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they can still double it and keep
I
most
would
of their
keep it,
customers
yeah.
because it still works out.
If I lived
what about-
in the Midwest and movies were $8, it maybe wouldn't make sense.
But what about them cutting out blockbusters and stuff, like big blockbusters? Do you not care about that?
No. I'll wait like a week.
What about you, Andy?
I've never had it.
Would you get
so
it now? What if they said it was? I'm going to give you a price. What if it was $30? $30.
I don't think I would get it now. I never had it when it
30's
was
a lot.
10.
30's a
I
lot.
don't go to the movies that often enough for that to be price rewarding for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of. I just wait unless it's something I really want to see. I wait until it comes out.
I know. I say this, and I'm like, if it actually went up, I'd probably be pissed. But I would
going to go up.
forget. I would forget to cancel it and keep it for probably a full year and angrily see movies and be mad at myself. For
Yeah,
not
it's
That's
just the
another
gym
thing that I-
membership of movies.
Exactly.
That's what I
Exactly.
wonder.
I think-
Do they bet on that, you think?
Definitely.
You think they're in a meeting, they're like, we're thinking 20% will forget they
Laziness.
have the charge in their cards for at least a year,
Yeah.
and that'll be revenue.
I'm
we're
sure all
making.
that goes into
Isn't that
it.
funny that they're betting on the laziness of people?
They're
And I
moneyballing it.
fall
They're
into it.
moneyballing it. Isn't that crazy?
Trap.
Well, I think I'm gonna get rid of it. You know what? Maybe $20 would be the highest that I would go. That would be the.
But why would you
That's
get rid of it if
reasonable.
you can still use it? Is it because there's so many restrictions now?
Because they added $5 to her thing. They're getting rid of the
okay.
big blockbusters,
Gotcha.
which is what I want to see.
Right. Okay.
So if I'm paying for tickets on top of paying the $20 a month, maybe I'll see one a month, and I don't even sometimes get to see that because of random shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not going to sit there and chill out like an extra 20, and because of restrictions, I can't see them. You
But
know,
I
like
love to
theaters are dropping it. Like all these things are happening.
That's what I was
to
going to
it.
ask you. Isn't that
Paramount, like I think movie companies are saying no, you can't use our movies with it and stuff
That
like that.
does suck. But it's nice to just have a place to go when you're like out in the city and you're
That's
like, I
for the
need to
road.
kill an hour
Oh,
or
it's
two
great.
and just pop in. I saw I, Tanya at 10 in the morning when I was waiting for a Greyhound bus that got canceled. Weird shit that you can just do because you just can.
Yeah,
I like it.
That whole theme fell into each other. I, Tanya, and waiting for a Greyhound bus.
Yes.
Really
It was
couples
a real
nicely.
white trash. Yeah,
You know
that's
my
right.
issue with I, Tanya, right?
No.
I like the movie overall, but
Yeah.
my major issue. I have major issues with movies when they do a certain time period, and they don't do it like how it actually looked. They do it like when they do the 80s, they do like the hipster version of the 80s. Like all the clothes in I, Tanya, like they were fucking hicks in that movie, like white trash. And the clothes they had, you could find in Williamsburg. At
It
like
did
Because
seem
it
a
still
little
has to
bit
be
like that,
visually
yeah.
appealing.
Yeah, I've talked about it on
To
the
the
podcast
modern
before. I
world.
hate that. Make it how me and my sisters looked in the 80s. We look like idiots. Just
Yeah,
make it like
yeah.
that. Like, don't make it where it's like, oh, that jacket, your winter jacket fits perfectly, Margot Robbie. I don't think so. I would have an oversized hand-me-down jacket.
Or how about just Margot Robbie being Tanya Harding?
Yeah, I know.
They did it with humans.
God, is
True.
she unbelievably gorgeous or what? She's unbelievably
She is.
gorgeous.
Duchess of
And she's a
Barry.
great actress. She is
really good.
She's great in that movie. She's great in everything she does. Like,
Yeah, I like her a
Wolf of
lot.
Wall Street, she pulls off that Staten Island
Her
accent
clothes.
pretty
I
damn
know.
well. What?
She pulls off in her clothes.
Yeah, she really
right.
does.
The Duchess of
It's
Barry.
pretty.
Annie's gonna get Me Too'd before the end of this podcast.
What? I like to play on words.
She does take off her clothes. He's right. That is literal. She does.
She's fully nude.
You want to do movie association now or later? What do you say?
Let's do it now.
Let's do it now. And that movie, we're going to do actor association. Last week on the show, we had a section that was called movie association. Everybody's done the game where you take what's called word association. You tell somebody a word, and they give you the first response that comes to their head. First one-word response that comes to their head. We're going to have Melissa do actor association, star association, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And Alex is going to give her a list. We'll just do 10 actors, all right, Alex? And all you're going to do is tell us what your first thing that pop in your head. It was pretty fun last week.
It was fun. I was thinking, should we all do it? Not at the same time, but it's like you'd go and then you go.
Yeah, that's fun.
You want to do it?
I think maybe it's
all three of us?
switch it
Then
up.
let's just do 10 then. 10 apiece, all right, Alex? All right, cool.
First word. Be honest.
Okay.
First word. It's hard to do. Like I was stuttering and it was hard to do. All right.
I was stuttering.
Kim Cattrall.
Shut up, Alex. Shut up. Bring my livelihood into this. Best actress of our time.
What did you work for?
Josh.
Wait.
Sex and the City.
Now you made editing for yourself, Alex. See what happened?
Josh Hartnett.
Fergie.
Kerry Russell.
Felicity.
Liam Hemsworth.
Australia.
Naomi Campbell.
Which one is she? Cell phone.
Okay. Penelope Cruz.
Blow.
Robert Downey Jr.
Hot.
You could have said blow again.
Blow. Is he in Blow?
No, he's not.
Oh, he
No,
just
he's
does
not.
Blow.
Oh, no, that's crack.
Yeah.
That's crack. That's sleeping in some kid's bed.
That's a zero.
Okay. Selma Hayek.
Also
Hi.
Blow. Same person as
Oh,
Penelope
yeah.
Cruz. We've been tricked that there's two of them, but they are one.
Denzel Washington.
Also hot.
Bruce Willis.
Pulp Fiction.
Very nice.
One more?
Was that 10?
I think that was 10.
Okay, all right.
No, we'll do one more. Ben Affleck.
J-Lo.
Wow, I'm taking it old school. That was good. That was great. She did it the way you're supposed to. We were saying like 3 words per.
Like,
I'm so ADD, I can't stick to the game. All right, I'll go next. All right. Do you have 10 more, Alex?
just go.
Yeah, Alex. All right.
Alex is fired.
This is my Sean Donnelly is going now. Here we go.
Blake Lively.
Blonde,
Andrew Garfield.
Spider-Man,
Channing Tatum.
funny,
Christian Bale.
Psycho,
David Arquette.
divorced,
Emily Blunt.
Krasinski,
George Clooney.
the best,
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Maggie,
James Franco.
penis. Because he shows penis or something. There I go.
Keanu Reeves.
Nice guy, nice.
Mandy Moore.
Aquaman. Because of Entourage.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right. Rachel McAdams.
Amazing. I love her so much.
That's a good one.
She's so great.
She's fantastic.
Okay, Shia LaBeouf.
Dick.
All right.
That's worked
That
out
was
pretty
great,
well.
Sean.
That was good.
All right,
I'm trying to
Andy's
go quick.
turn.
I'm just trying to go
Do
really
you
off
have
the
10
cuff.
more?
Yeah, let's do more.
All right, 10 more for 10 for
I
Andy.
wanted your list.
Oh, that was a
You
good
had a
list.
good list. I didn't know
Rachel
enough.
McAdams, I love.
Oh, me
I think
too. The
she's
no
so
plug.
talented. Yeah.
Incredible.
Wedding Crashers is like a really good. That's a good romantic
Have you
comedy.
ever seen The Vow?
No.
It is a wildly underrated comedy where they get in a car accident and she forgets who her boyfriend is, and then he makes her fall in love again. It takes place in Chicago.
did
It's
see
incredible. It's Rachel McAdams. It's
gotta
so
watch
good.
it.
We should defend that.
Direct to DVD.
Probably. It was bad. Channing Tatum's in that.
He's awesome.
Did you say he was funny?
Funny.
That
He
was
is
super
funny.
generous of you.
Oh no, I think you never watched 21 and 22 Jump Street?
Oh, no, I never saw this.
Oh, they're really funny. Like
Really?
actually funny.
All right.
There's
They're
a
self-aware sequel. The sequel's self-aware.
Okay.
So it's really funny.
There's a Steven Soderbergh makes like a NASCAR heist movie with them. I can't think of it, but he's great in it too. It's a good
Is
movie.
it a good movie or no?
Yeah, it's
I
good.
wanted to see that. All right, Alex, let's do Andy, and then
Okay.
we'll go on to the Defend Your Movie.
Okay. Tom Cruise.
Top Gun.
Terry Hatcher. I should have done for you, Sean.
Spectacular.
Yeah,
Seinfeld.
Robert Pattinson.
Werewolf.
Joe Pesci.
It's Goodfellas.
Great.
Nicole Kidman.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Mila Kunis.
Dove Bars.
That's the other one.
Harvey Keitel.
Mean Streets.
Let's see.
Just thinking of movies.
Kristen Bell.
Chainsaw.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Joy.
Whoa. Wow, that's interesting.
I was just thinking of movies, though. I shouldn't. But that was
No,
the
you can
first
do that,
word.
but that's whatever you think of. Like, whatever pops in your head.
And Charles Grodin.
Marion.
Yeah.
That's his daughter.
Daughter. Who I
Wait,
did bring her shows with me.
Why did you say Chainsaw for the other one?
It's like when he's chasing Christian Bale.
Kristen Bell.
Oh, sorry, Kristen Bell. I thought we were doubling
She's
up
from
on Christian
Michigan.
Bale. Kristen Bell, annoying.
That's funny.
Those fucking commercials.
And also,
I thought you said Christian Bale.
Dove Bar is not Mila Kunis. It's whatever her name is.
Yeah, I didn't get that one either.
The other brunette that was in How I Met Your Mother, she was like a guest star in it. Rachel Billith, I think. Or
You're 100% right, and I think they're actually called Trojan bars, not Dove.
yeah, there's no Magnum.
Well, you know what? That's
But,
a word association.
You know what's
Good
so
job,
funny?
Andy.
That's great word association.
Magnum, Trojan.
They're not called Trojan. They're called Magnum,
Magnums.
but you thought Trojan because of
Oh
Magnum
my God, that's
condoms.
very funny.
Hey, I'm Brad
Wow, you
Loyal.
are going to get Me Too'd by the end of this
We
podcast.
really got an eye into your brain.
We did, you sex pot. Let's go on to the meat of the podcast right now. If you haven't listened to the podcast in a while, you should know we changed the format. Now what we do is a versus format instead of somebody just coming in and defending one movie. Today we decided to do two romantic comedies that one of them I feel very strongly about, so I'll have no problem defending. The two movies we're going against each other today are 10 Things I Hate About You and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And every time, just so you guys know, I pick a movie based on what the guest picks. So we actually had a little bit of a difficult time because you wanted to do how Mamma Mia, the sequel,
Mia,
so
Here We Go
bad.
Again.
She goes, "How about Mamma Mia? Here We Go Again." And I go, "That just came out. I didn't see it."
And then he was like, just look through this list. And I was like, oh, cool. How about Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again? And he was like, that just came out.
With you,
It was a lot of back and forth.
a lot of back and forth, and but that list had so many great ones on it.
Yeah.
And you picked How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah.
You just like bad romantic comedies,
Yeah.
I think.
And you
wanted P.S. I Love You really bad,
oh
but I
God,
haven't seen
I
it.
love P.S. I Love You.
That's what she goes to Ireland, right?
What a film. Yes. And Gerard Butler.
My sister loves that movie.
leaves letters for her after he died of brain cancer.
I have a great.
It's
The
so
last
good.
letter
Kathy
is-
Bates is in it.
Andy, the last letter is.
So,
The last letter is, "My darling, I'm sitting." That's fucked up.
So, P.S. I Love You and There Will Be Blood were out at the same time in the theaters, and me and two of my friends were all bartenders. At
Very
the same time.
similar movies.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah. Well, here's the so we're all bartenders. Two of these guys are Irish, and my friend Shawnee is me, my friend Shawnee, and my friend Tim.
Yeah.
We go to see There Will Be Blood. We're waiting over on the Union Square Theater right over here, and we see our other friend Greg. And he's with his girlfriend, and we're like, "Greg, what's up?" And he's not with his girlfriend, and we're
At the
like,
time, you mean?
like she was in the
Off.
bathroom or something.
Yeah.
And we're like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, "There will be blood, huh? It's gonna be great." He's like, "Yeah, have a good time."
That's like out of a sitcom.
So my
Yeah.
friend, we're like, "What do you go to see?" He's like, "I'm here with Rachel. We're going to see P.S. I Love You." And we're like, "Oh yeah, what? All right, fine, whatever you do with your girlfriend." We're walking away, and Shawnee goes, "Hey, Greg, P.S. You're gay."
Nice.
And the moment.
Very
I like
nice.
that. Well, very
Hashtag-
similar to How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Do you remember that scene? There's a Celine Dion concert and the Knicks game
yeah.
right at once.
Yeah, maybe that's what she was doing. Maybe she was trying to lose him Maybe she
was
was trying to lose
make
him
Greg
by
No,
bringing him
they're married
to
now.
P.S. I Love You. Oh, they're married now.
Yeah, they're married.
Now, let me ask you this. What is your defense of this movie? Why do you love... Because 10 Things I Hate About You, I thought everybody... Because you weren't as familiar with it as I am. I've seen it like a bunch of times. That's a great movie. That's 10 Things I Hate About You.
It is also a great movie, for sure. For whatever reason, I think Matthew McConaughey's best work was before he got good at acting and started doing serious roles. This is cream of the crop. He's such a douche in this movie, but he's so good at it. And I always compare it to him in The Wedding Planner because he plays like this doctor who like has his shit together, but actually is a terrible person. But in this movie, he's just being a piece of shit, and it's very endearing.
Yeah.
Wait, so you think his best work was like before True Detective and stuff?
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
What would you say? This and like Ed TV were triumphs? Is that what?
Triumphs. Failure to Launch with Sarah Jessica Parker
And then he did-
and
he-
Terry Bradshaw.
He really was
He did a
almost
lot of
pigeonholed
these.
into.
Yes, he was because
Yeah.
he did. What was it called? Golden something with another
Fool's
Kate
Gold.
Fool's Gold.
Yes. Terrible
That was
film.
Kate Hudson too, right?
That was Kate Hudson,
and that was
yeah.
one of the biggest bombs ever. I think Fool's
Yep.
Gold.
Yep.
Like, I don't even think you can find it anywhere.
I like this is my body of work for Matthew McConaughey that I want.
But this
remembered.
particular movie, why does it do it for you? Because McConaughey's a jerk in it. And see, this is actually a good peek. We can talk about dating because I think I'm too nice of a guy, and I'm dating now. I'm trying to date,
Yeah.
and I think it really does affect things. I think I'm less attractive because I'm too nice. Is that a thing? You think that's a thing?
No.
You don't think so?
I mean, I don't know.
No, be honest. You can,
I think that
I'd
people
imagine probably for some
are
girls.
attracted to sometimes unavailability. So maybe if your niceness is coming off as like just
I'm
really
way too available.
easy or whatever, then
Yeah.
you might be overlooked.
Yeah.
But I don't think that people always say that, oh, no one likes nice guys. No, you definitely want a kind person. I don't think that that's true, that everyone
I think a lot of girls don't. I don't think a lot of. I think but they end up with a lot of jerks. I think that happens. And I'm not talking about
Sure.
jerks where it's like you're gonna put a pie in your face and tell you to fuck off. I mean like where it's like it's
Who's doing physical comedy on
yeah,
these
not like
dates?
a Marx Brother type.
How many
jerk.
times have you gotten pie?
I know. I'm kidding. Like like it's not like overly blunt. I just mean like a jerk like who plays games and stuff like that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Girls like that.
Well, I think that's a
Because
real
I'm-
general
also, I think I'm
statement.
getting too old. Like I don't care about that stuff
You're
anymore.
definitely getting old. I think that's something we can all agree on. That's probably part of it. Oh, I'm too nice. I'm too nice. No, Sean, you're old. Just be
I'm
nice
very
and old, Sean.
I am. I'm very old.
No, I think that some girls maybe have a pattern of choosing a certain type of guy that you've seen, but you can't generalize and say girls don't like nice guys.
That's true. So you think in this movie, she basically want to describe the plot of the movie so
Sure.
everybody knows?
I mean, it's, I love a movie with a bet and emotional manipulation, and this has both.
A movie with a bet actually is because I
It's
love
very
Brewster's
fun.
Millions. Brewster's Millions is so great.
Totally.
So I love a movie
both
with a
of
bet.
these movies.
Yeah.
10 Things I Hate About You as well. I mean, this one, their bets like interweave. So Andy is a writer, and she's writing a piece called How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So she goes out to meet a guy that she's going to just like annoy the shit out of for 10 days. He's with his company. He works in advertising. His name's Ben. And there's these, they call them the Judys. There's two ladies named Judy, and they have to pick someone, and they're like, you can have this diamond campaign if you make a girl fall in love with you. And they had heard about her bet. So they're like, that girl. So they pick Kate Hudson knowing
On
that she's
purpose.
going to annoy the shit out of him for 10 days. And they end up falling in love. I think why I love it is because it does get very romantic. Like, he takes her home to Staten Island. Like, she's been a nightmare for all these days, but like secretly she's like a cool girl who like likes the Knicks and stuff, but she's like hiding it. And then they go to Staten Island, and his family's just like wonderful, and they have this like very steamy like shower sex scene that's super nice, and like it's a really good romantic movie. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's really sweet.
Yeah, there was a couple of rewrites on that script where like, we'll just leave this really nice
Yeah, also-
moment.
Right? Yeah.
I don't really think Matt McConaughey when I think of Staten
I
Island.
know. Yeah, that's another thing.
It is totally miscast in the best way. Yeah.
They do that a lot of the time with Staten Island because they did it. I think in Working Girl, she's from Staten Island, but actually that makes sense. She's very
Yeah,
Staten
that
Island.
totally makes sense.
But also, they make it seem like Staten Island is like this place that were all like the down to earth people, like that
Exactly.
travel into New York City. It's a very old
It's
thing
awful.
to think that Staten Island
And they
is that.
wanted to do a ferry shot. It's a lovely.
that's-
oh
Oh
it's
yeah, you
so
got the ferry.
good.
Yeah, and
It's
you go,
so good.
hey, I'm from Long Island. Let's get on the LIRR.
Right, right.
That's not as romantic.
Right.
Hey, let's go in the bar car.
This is the quiet car.
I love that.
We're in the drunk car at 3 a.m. Some guy pukes next to you. Isn't this nice? This is better than our
He's got a
sex
Coors
scene.
Light in a paper bag. It's okay because of that.
So you love this movie. You just think it's overall a great romantic.
Yeah, and
movie.
it's funny. I mean, Kate Hudson is great in it. That's another kind of unfortunate thing, is I feel like she really had a good track going with like Almost Famous, this movie, great, and she kind of fell off as well.
Well, you know what? You can blame Hollywood for that. That's one of those things that like women, they have a shelf life when it comes to doing these movies and being a
Right,
love
the
interest in
romantic-
these movies, and then they go. That's what they say about. And also, it's a little bit different because somebody was talking about how in Forrest Gump, Sally Field plays Tom Hanks' mother. But then that was like 94.
Yeah.
Just 3 years prior, she was playing his love interest.
Right.
But but here's the problem with that. First when I heard that, I was like, that's fucked up. But two things are wrong with that. One is, in Punchline, she's supposed to be substantially older than him because she's married and he's supposed to be like 20-something.
Yeah.
I think he might be late 20s, but like she's supposed to be like 35, close to 40. And then secondly, in Forrest Gump, she plays his mom, but she plays his mom when she's present day Sally Field. He's a little kid,
Right.
and she plays
Yeah, they
his
age
mom.
her.
So it's kind of a bogus
No,
thing.
she was cast perfectly.
She was cast perfectly, and she's awesome. She's great.
You're right. I just mean she probably could have taken some cooler roles than to keep doing the romantic comedies over and over again. I think she could have been
Yeah.
a little bit more of like an indie.
She
darling
definitely
a little
could have.
bit, you know
I think
what I mean?
I think when she did Almost Famous, I think everybody thought she was going to be like this, like a thespian, like
Right.
an actor's actor, and then because she did a great job.
But
in
I
that.
like this role for her for sure. I don't want to say not this one, but I think she could have done.
Well,
some
she's
cooler
very.
stuff.
It's basically watching her mom. It's like watching a less like giggly version of her mom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you watch it, and you're like,
Exactly.
Oh, this is like just like her mom, but like kind of more put together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because her mom was like in Laughing and stuff, and her mom was in a bunch of movies. Her mom's in a great romantic movie, and it's very old, so it has that like 60s feel to it, called Butterflies Are Free. You ever see Butterflies Are Free?
I thought you were gonna go Overboard.
Where she falls in love with the blind
I was
guy.
thinking Overboard. Too.
Overboard. Oh my
Overboard's
God! How did I not
great.
think of Overboard?
Yes.
Overboard. I'll defend Overboard to the end of the.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Fantastic.
And they redid it with
Yes,
which is
I can't
fucking
remember.
with Anna Faris, I think, or something.
Yeah,
like that.
they've.
Oh, really?
With the
2018.
reverse, they flipped it on its side, so it's the parts are switched. So the girl is the Kurt Russell part. Anna Faris plays like the down to earth person, and then this like Spanish dude plays
Right.
the jerk.
Yeah.
He's like some like asshole. But Overboard, I'll defend Overboard against any romantic comedy. Overboard is like,
great.
because it's also like, it has a place in my heart, Overboard. There's movies from the 80s, some movies from the 80s like that. We were just talking, last night I was talking to somebody,
Totally.
we went to a party, we went to the same party. I was talking to somebody about planes, trains, and automobiles, and I was like, I cry still to this, like, not cry,
How
but.
could you not? The genuine article speech?
Oh my
That's a
God!
fucking
That at the
tearjerker.
end,
really
at the
good.
end when they're walking with the case at the end in Planes and Trains.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So she comes from like, it's almost like genetic to come from like a romantic comedy background.
Totally.
For Kate Hudson.
Did Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell start dating from Overboard, or were they already together?
I think they did. No, I think that's where they met.
Very adorable.
Yeah, it is.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, and they've been in love. Like they never got
I know.
married.
They
Yeah.
never got married. They're like, we just want to choose to be together every day, is what she said one time. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And then it fits in with the end of Overboard. It's basically like Overboard just never ended.
Yeah.
It's like the plot of Overboard
Yeah.
just never ended, which is like the nicest thing ever.
I know.
So you would say your favorite parts of this are Matthew McConaughey being a jerk.
Yeah, but like in a way that you still like him. Like if I met this guy in person, I'd be like, what a fucking tool. You know, he like works in advertising and he's just like sports and like Bachelor and like he's gross, but he is who he is and he's very genuine about it. Whereas Matthew McConaughey in The Wedding Planner is very manipulative and bad.
See, I think 10 Things I Hate About You, the reason I love it because it's kind of, they're very similar in a way, I'll tell you why. And I guess this does fit into...
Well, it has a bet. It's kind of a similar, like...
Yes, that's actually a perfect connection idea, which I didn't even think of when we picked this. But one thing I did think of is that Heath Ledger is also like a lovable jerk. But it's weird because they make Heath Ledger, they're like, oh, he's like this insane
But he is
badass.
hot.
Song is tough to watch.
What?
When he sings, that is tough to watch.
Yeah.
That
Well,
is-
there's a
Well,
singing
supposed
part
to
in
be
this
awkward.
one, too.
Yeah, and they nailed it.
When he's like,
It
you're
is
too good to
cringeworthy.
be
Why
true.
do they
Oh,
feel
God.
they need to put a random song in movies like that?
That's a classic
Kate Hudson,
high school romantic trope.
You don't
and
think it's
Matthew
kind of
McConaughey
cool when he
sing.
goes and he kicks to the band and they go, I
I love
it. That's kind of funny.
I'm a sucker. I love it.
But the funniest part is it's such a kids movie. It's like a movie for teenagers. Like I saw it when I was younger.
The late 90s had a good resurgence of like teenage not rom-com.
They were like these Merrimack
She's All
ones.
That.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
all that.
it
All
was
from
like
the same school.
Right.
And but I thought it was great. I thought it was like actually, to be honest, I've seen She's All That, but I think maybe because it's based on Taming of the Shrew. I don't know if people know that.
Yeah.
10 Things I Hate About You is based off Taming of the Shrew. Maybe because it's based off that. I think it's at a higher level. I think that acting's better because Heath Ledger is a fantastic actor. I think Julia Stiles was a good enough actor.
She's All That, and then there's what's the one where he writes the letter to the girl and he's trying to get it to her the whole time?
What's
What's it called?
Oh,
Easy A? No,
with
no. It's
Jennifer
it.
Love Hewitt.
Yeah. Jennifer Love
Can't
Hewitt.
Hardly
Can't Hardly
Wait.
Wait.
Yeah,
That
Can't
movie's
Hardly Wait.
badass, too.
Same genre,
love
right
that
there.
movie.
Same time frame.
That has like a retro vibe to it. That also came out, I think, 98.
I want to say
98 was like the year
98.
for these things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, a bunch of them came out. Can't Hardly Wait is great. Can't Hardly
Yeah.
Wait's
That was
really
also
great.
American Pie. If you want to lump in those, kind of similar.
I think those are a little bit different. And
They
those
are.
are like more sex driven in a raunchy, like gross way, whereas these do have like legitimate
The
feelings
romantic
and romance.
quality.
Oh yeah, no.
Like
of course,
Superbad
totally.
is like sex driven, and that came out later. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's like two guys trying to get laid on the last night of high school, whatever it is. But when you have these, it's actually like they're cute. They're cuter than the other ones.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But what I mean is that when it comes to 10 Things I Hate About You, what I was gonna say is it's funny because Heath Ledger in the show, they're like, oh, he's like this badass. Then you watch him, like, oh no, he's just like a gorgeous kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy's just a handsome devil. But you never believe. I think they could have cast it a little bit. They could have cast it a little bit better. I love him in it. I think he's great in it. But I don't know if that was supposed to be the thing. I think he actually was supposed to look like menacing or something.
You're supposed to be like a weirdo.
He's supposed to be like
Like
no,
a
he's supposed to be
loner.
like, but like also that he like beats people up and stuff. But you don't,
yeah.
you don't look at Heath Ledger and think like, oh, you beat people up. But like he was in jail while he was gone and this, and it's like, well,
the
no.
Olsen twins.
Yeah. But then one of the things we realized right before the podcast is another famous thing to come out of this is Andrew Keegan.
Yep.
Andrew Keegan, who started a cult.
Yeah, you guys were talking about that.
And
He's
he was
calling it a church
He calls it a church, and it's a cult though, right?
to lead a religion. Yeah,
and
that's
do
a
you-
fucking cult.
There's an article about it. What is
It
it?
is.
What is it called?
It's called Third Eye, I believe. It's
What?
kind of
Yeah,
like
that's
What
not
a
a cult.
culty name. Oh, that's the guy?
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
He's the bad.
a block away from the iconic Gold's Gym in Venice Beach.
That's what they say in the article.
yeah. Yeah. It's, I think, called Third Eye.
If you don't know who Andrew Keegan is, he's the guy who's trying to date Julia Stiles' younger sister in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh,
he's
no, his name is Third Eye.
He's actually pretty funny. He plays a douche really well, but now I guess he actually is a douche because he started a cult.
He is.
Because he's like a commercial actor in the show, like in the movie.
I like that part
Full
a lot.
circle.
It's really
Almost.
funny. What?
Full Circle, it's called.
Full Circle?
Yeah.
It's not
Look at
called
his
Third
eyes.
Eye?
Yeah, it's not called Third Eye. The guy is called Third
A
Eye.
community spiritual center.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
he's a
You know what that
fucking
is? That's
freak.
Los You go out to Los Angeles
Venice.
long enough, or if you're from there. Are you from Los Angeles? No, you're not from
No.
You're from, where are you
The
from?
Midwest.
That's right. That's right.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, Detroit.
If you go to L.A., if you're from there, people who are from there, this is like totally makes sense to them. They're very flighty out there.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, this is probably a dime a dozen, but just because we know who he is from the movies, you know. And he's really the thing is,
You can fuck with people's lives, though. I feel like you should really have to have some sort of like.
of course you should.
It's really-
some kind of training or maybe actually know what you're
Also,
talking
just
about.
because you get such a tax break or something, like you can make
Yeah.
so much money off of religion.
Yes, and
They're
what
not
happened?
taxed.
I'm sure what happened to this kid. He had a good film career going. He hit rock bottom. The heat was off of him, and he went, "What am I going to do?" And then he's like, "Oh, I found spiritual awakeness, and guess
Right.
what? I'm going to make a couple bucks at the same time."
And maybe that's
Well,
genuine.
I
He
hate
went
to
to
tell
too
you
many
guys,
yoga
but the
classes.
organization closed its doors in June of 2017.
really, did they get shut down?
In 2015, the Californian Alcohol Beverage Control Officers
There you
raided
go.
the center
Yep.
for the distribution of kombucha. which is a fermented beverage made from sweet black tea.
that's funny.
A spokesperson for the temple stated they were unaware they needed a license to distribute. The organization closed its doors. So
Because they didn't want to deal with the court case.
Shut down for a
guess so.
booch.
Wow.
Sucks.
a booch.
Isn't it also kind of disheartening when, like, you know, 98, like, everything was going great for Andrew Keegan, and then everybody from that
was going
movie,
great
like,
for me.
there's such, it's such when you find out real world shitty things about people from movies that you love, like, after it's
Yeah.
done, you're kind of like, man, why couldn't you just been, like, stayed that kid that was in, like, you know,
Yeah.
I know too much about you now. Like, you know, you don't want to know everything about their personal lives because you feel bad, you know?
Yep.
But I think 10 Things I Hate About You, I think, is and also, you can't beat it. You know, another reason you can't beat it, Larry Miller.
Larry Miller,
Yes, as a dad.
who went on
he's
to also
so good.
star in the TV series they made from it. They made a TV show.
they really?
And he was like, "Yeah, I'll reprise the role."
Of course you will.
He was a
Doctor. He was
doctor,
a baby
but
doctor.
yeah, that's right. And
He's
he was so
put on the
worried.
belly.
Right, that's why he wouldn't let her date. He was so worried about like
getting
STDs and
pregnant.
pregnancy.
Getting knocked
Yeah.
up, yep.
But he's great in it. He's awesome.
Yeah, Larry Miller's always knocked it out of the park.
Also, you got Joseph Gordon-Levitt, future
Young
heartthrob.
JGL.
Yes.
Future heartthrob Joseph Gordon. Is Joseph Gordon-Levitt really hot?
I think so.
He's pretty hot.
He's
I
not
think he's a
necessarily
he's a genuinely good actor though. One of those guys who came out of
Right.
child acting and is like, "Oh, you're a really good actor." Like I love like Looper is really
Looper's
you know,
great.
like,
Looper's and also
he's in
500
some good.
Days of
He's in
Summer.
stuff. He's like a guy. Look, I'm like, yeah, he's just as good at what every time.
and
I'm like,
he's,
Yeah.
he's good in this, but it's funny he still like has that young like I'm
Yeah.
a teenager like awkwardness. to
It
him.
is
Totally.
cute.
But he was the roast master or the master of ceremonies on the Bruce Willis roast on
right.
Comedy Central.
I thought he did a good job.
I thought he did it really good. I was going to
Yeah.
say that. I'm like, for a guy who's not a stand-up.
Absolutely.
You know, you had Darren Knight, who we talked about earlier, who
Yeah, right.
he's supposed to be a performer, and he ate shit to bed.
But
and then
that's
you
a
have
pro.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and he kind of acted out the jokes, but he did a good. He was kind of like,
No, I thought he was good.
Bruce Willis, like he did like everything was very affected. Like he just very like, that's why he's like 12 Monkeys, Fifth Element, 0 Oscars.
God,
like,
I love those movies.
yeah.
Speaking of which,
12 Monkeys, I love. We'll do
Me
12
too.
Monkeys versus something else. So my point is this. I think 10 Things I Hate About You is more of a well-known. What do you think is more famous now as far as like people who love romantic comedies? What do you think is more well-known?
Well, I think 10 Things I Hate About You is kind of this cult, like kind of cool movie because it is very funny. It's very smart. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is dumb. It's a dumb movie. I don't think anyone's going to sit here and be like, this is real
Yeah.
cinema. Like, no, it's stupid. But I just happen to like it in a way that it's goofy. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
Yeah.
10 Things I Hate About You, I don't think it's real cinema. I just think that, it is a little bit smarter than the other ones.
It is.
It's smarter than your average romantic
more
comedy. That's a good
biting,
defense
kind
of it. And also it's so funny. I think like isn't the band she psyched on is like Leathers to Cleo or something? Like it has that like 90s, like the ska emo era
Yes.
thing where the whole soundtrack
Bosstones.
is just like, yeah. It's Mighty Mighty Bosstones where you're
well,
like, just takes
they were
you
actually
back.
in Clueless.
They were.
That's yeah.
right.
And who
I
was
love
in?
Clueless.
Real Big Fish was in something too. Remember Real
Yeah.
Big Fish?
Ska, that was Ska's heyday.
Ska's
man.
heyday.
Boy, did I buy it.
Basketball.
Yes, they were in
Basketball.
Basketball, the South Park guys movie. And then, who was in the Brady Bunch movie? Wasn't it? There was some band in the Brady Bunch. It might not have been a famous band then.
I don't remember, but I just heard on the way here, Miley Cyrus and Lance Bass are in a bidding war for the original Brady Bunch house.
Are
my
you
God,
kidding me?
hilarious.
And I know Lance Bass, and I've been to his house in California now. I'm like, please let Lance win. I could potentially be in the Brady Bunch.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Cool.
Wait,
How do you
so,
know Lance Bass?
I used to produce this show at Sirius like 6 years ago.
Wow.
And then I went out to his house, and he's like, come out over.
That's so
Never
cool.
thought I'd be there.
That's funny.
Yeah.
The other crazy thing is like when you get so rich, like Lance Bass is super fucking rich.
Yeah, but
Did you know him after he went to space or before?
after?
you talk to him about space
his
at all?
husband, no. Well, yeah,
Did he go to space? Did he end up going?
No, he was like
He couldn't go. He didn't qualify.
qualified for the program, but then something happened. I don't remember what. He's
space is
pretty rich,
homophobic.
but his
The stars are homophobic.
his husband is even richer. His husband comes from like old Southern money.
Really?
Yeah, they're like
That's
so
a
they're
dangerous topic. Let's not. That's not good. That's kind of. It's like, what do you do? Shouldn't you kind of give? You should kind of. I think if you're old Southern money, you should give that. There
Well,
should
I
be
think-
reparations for that.
Oh,
There was
well.
slaves directly involved in that money.
I know-
I guess the whole economy of the country had slaves involved in it. No, I don't actually Northern economy. I don't know why I went off on this. This is crazy that I'm talking about this.
I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah, let's just forget about it. But that's got to be part of that's got to be a weird elephant they don't talk about, like where his family has a bunch of money. There must have been something a slave involved along the line.
I don't know. Probably.
Whatever. I don't know. But he's not as rich as he didn't grow up rich, Lance Bass.
No.
But he's got to be rich from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Or did he get his money stolen by that fat pedophile?
Oh my God.
No,
Perlman.
they got out of that, I think, early enough where they got robbed.
They kept their money.
But then it was like they were able to make
Poor O-Town.
poor
all
O-Town,
those
poor
guys.
98 Degrees. They just
They got screwed, right?
yeah.
That sucks.
Yep.
That sucks so bad. But my thing is this: how rich do you have to get where you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna have a bidding war over a iconic house? You know what I'm saying? Like,
It didn't sound like it was that. It was like 1.8 million, which is
that's
not that
like
much in terms
nothing.
of
Yeah.
iconic houses.
that's pretty funny that those.
I mean,
That's
it's
hilarious.
such a dated piece of shit. I'm sure it's just for like those types of people would be like, "Hey, look at what we bought because
Well,
I
you
could buy."
can't
It's
live
like
in
I
it.
own the Brady Bunch house.
do you think if
know?
Miley buys it, she'll come in with a wrecking ball?
What is Miley? Lance is
Did
older.
you get that?
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Very nice.
That was a Miley joke, but
I
you weren't
steamrolled right
listening,
over
Andy.
it.
Thanks. It was a terrible joke. It deserved to get skipped over.
They wouldn't live there, right? There's no chance.
No.
Okay.
No, you wouldn't live there. What would you do? What do you
That's
do?
what
with
I
that
mean.
money?
literally
What do you
think
do
it's
with
one of
that?
those
You
things
just
where
have
it's like
parties and
you're like,
Instagram?
hey, I have an autographed Goodfellas poster. Where
Right.
it's like, but
Yeah.
for the super rich, it's like, yeah, I own the original Brady Bunch house.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's a toy collectible.
It's probably been like that for a while. Like, who owned it last time? I'm sure every time it's
Yeah, I don't
sold,
know.
it's always sold in those circles, and people are just owning it. It to just be like, hey, I own the Brady Bunch house. You want to go check it out? And
Yeah.
then, like, they bring their friends there.
That has to happen a
That's
lot too
cool.
because
Because the inside doesn't look like, right?
I mean, if
Brady
the
Bunch?
outside looks anything like what, it's so.
No, but I mean the
Dated.
inside, right? But the inside was a set, so it doesn't look. It can't look exactly like. It's just the outside. Looks
I don't
like.
know. I don't know
Maybe
much
it does
about the
look
Brady
like.
Bunch.
Maybe they shot in the house. Maybe that was why it's so iconic.
Yeah.
Who knows?
staircase is
Well,
great.
we have to wrap up pretty soon, but I think I barely defended.
Yeah,
Ten
it
things
was-
I hate about you. Let's say, why do you think How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is better? Let's put it that way.
I think because of the casting. Catherine Hahn is also really funny in it. She does a good job. She's Andy's friend.
She's great and everything.
And it's just like it's
Oh, it must have been one of the early
it's
things
a good
that she
like
did.
breakup movie or something. Like there's a little chase at the end, like he's on a motorcycle chasing her taxi to be like, "You're scared of love," like that kind of shit. It's corny as hell. It's so it's just like a cheese dick of a movie.
Well, I'll tell you, it's so funny is that I was thinking one of the reasons why that's one of the reasons why I think I like 10 Things I Hate About You so much, because it it's not self-aware, but it does wink to the camera a little bit. Like it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a little bit more, I would say, sarcastic than How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days
yeah.
is. It doesn't just follow the trope of the romantic comedy one by one.
Where
And
this does. But also Kate Hudson is very funny with a lot of like physical comedy, and she really gets into this character of like the annoying girlfriend and everything. There's like a love her, and she's like, "You let it die." She's doing all the crazy shit, calling his mom. She makes like a baby book of their faces. Like I really love crazy women, and seeing someone like knowingly do it is fun.
Okay. I guess we'll agree to disagree. What do you think, Andy? What do you think is better?
Well, since I was kind of the intermediary on this one, I do think both are great representatives from what you guys made a case for, but I think I got to go with 10 Things I Hate About You. Just because in the end, I think it is a little bit of a better movie, but
It is.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is a great guilty pleasure.
That's
And they're
a
both
good
kind of
way to
guilty
call it,
pleasure,
yeah.
but
Like,
I wouldn't even think 10 Things I Hate About You is a guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
I think that's a
that's-
regular
so-
pleasure.
You're watching it to laugh. You're watching 10 Things I Hate About You like to actually enjoy it for how they intended.
And you're rolling your eyes when you're watching 10 Things I Hate About You. Or
No,
How to Lose a Guy in 10
right,
Days.
right.
A little
Somebody-
bit.
That's the difference, probably.
Yes.
Yeah. But both are
It's a
enjoyable.
guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
Yes.
both are enjoyable. Well, thank you so much for doing this, Melissa. We really appreciate it.
Pleasure
Yeah.
and an honor.
What would you like to plug, my friend?
I have a podcast called Speaking of Carrie. It's about Sex in the City. With my co-host Elise Brando, who does the Busters with me. But I'm on Twitter and Instagram at M_STOKS and Handmaid's Tale the Musical as well.
Awesome. And
Stokes.
Andrew?
yeah, you can always find me at Andy Fiori, ANDYFIORI. August 8th, August 9th through the 11th, Comedy on State, Madison, Wisconsin. come out.
Ooh.
Come hang out, and that is.
I mean,
if you're
very
in that
excited.
area
First
and
time
you listen
there.
to this podcast, I'm trying to go back there. If you're in Madison, Wisconsin, go see Andy that weekend. But contact the club and try to get me back.
Yeah.
I would love to go back. That's so hard to get back in there. I recorded my album there. I would love to go back there.
I'm very excited.
It's one of my favorite clubs in the country.
Nice.
It's so much fun. Like I was like on cloud nine when I was there. We're on Showbiz Studios. Thank you so much to Alex from Showbiz Studios. That's showbizstudios.com. You can look them up. They have a YouTube page. Also, they have their own page on iTunes. So you can check out the whole slate of Showbiz shows. A bunch of hilarious comics have shows on this network. So please check it out. And myself, I'm at Shawnee Time. That's SeanyTime on Instagram and Twitter. So please follow me on those. And let us know, what matchups do you want? We're going to do a couple of suggestions soon. We're people that wrote on the we have a Facebook page, and we also have a Twitter. It's at Defend Your Movie and Defend Your Movie on Facebook. And people where I wrote, hey, give us some matchups. We're going to do some of the ones you guys suggested. So give us some more. We'll keep going from there.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much again, and we'll see you next week. I love you. Go bye.
My friend, there's a time